Hi everyone, I'm hopping on to do a quick video to tell you all about a brand new tarot deck that I got. I know, I need another tarot deck in my life. Yes, I do. Even though I have over 400, I don't know what number this one is, but this tarot deck is fantastic. It came from a Kickstarter program created by Marcus Katz. Decades in the making, absolutely filled with so much symbology and knowledge, and just it's an incredible journey that we've all been on with him as this deck has been created. So it's called the Tarot of the Everlasting Day. The packaging is absolutely phenomenal. Beautiful tin. Okay, this is the rose and key symbol, which is sort of kind of an overall symbol for this deck. The rose and key has a lot of symbology for Marcus. Comes with a small booklet that has the keywords for all the tarot. I'm not going to do a review of this deck. I'll do that at another time. What I want to do with this video is do a spread that I call introduction. Okay, so this is the deck and me are going to get acquainted, and I'm going to get to know how this deck is going to help me in my life. So inside we have the full deck, and then on the other side what they created was a whole set of pips. So for the minor cards, instead of being illustrated, the minor cards have been done, with just the coins and just the swords and just the wands. And that way, if you wanted to read it more like a Marselius, if I'm pronouncing that correct, a Marselius deck. Plus, there's a handful of extra cards in it, which are just beautiful. But like I said, we're not going to do the review for that right now. But I just wanted to let you know that there's extras goodies. And there's also, this is sort of the card, it's called the Certificate of Authenticity. Is numbered and all that stuff for the deck. The deck was created using AI, artificial intelligence, so it can kind of take what's in your imagination and put it out there in art form. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so since the focus is the spread, let's get started. Okay, so I've already kind of sat with this deck, looked through the pictures, took the deck, mixed it up so that all the cards are random. And for the purposes of this particular reading, I don't usually read reverse cards all that often. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't. But for this particular reading, I'm not going to be reading reverse cards if anything should turn out reverse. I'm just going to read them all facing the right direction. Okay, so the three questions, the way I do an introduction reading with a new deck that I'm planning on actually working with. I collect a lot, and I only read with the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, or a version of that, a very close clone, very close version of that deck. So this is going to be my first sincere effort to expand a little bit and read with a deck that's a little bit different. And the artwork is vaguely familiar, but different. Okay, so here's my questions. First, I'm going to pull an introduction card. And then the first question, I'm going to pull 3 cards for each of the next 3 questions. How will you work with me? Like, what do I need to know about our relationship and what that's going to bring to my spiritual development? What do I need to know about our relationship? What is it that will help me clarify how this relationship is going to work? Me and the cards. And what do I need to know for my spiritual development? Okay, so sort of like the first message from the guides, from the spirit, whatever, through the cards to me. So that was my intent. And like I said, I've already mixed them up, shuffled, thought about my questions, so we would be ready to go. Okay, so as an introduction, we have the Page of Cups. So I will put that in this holder, so I can hold it steady like that. Okay, so for me, and also before we get started, these have the keywords on them. Now, I of course had to get both versions. There was a version with the keywords and a version without the keywords, and the keywords are in the little booklet. There's also a whole lot of other training material that's going to come online with this deck, study groups and things like that. So I'm very excited about diving deep. So I decided, for this reading, and since, this deck is brand new to me, I would use the one that has the keywords for right now, in case I, for whatever reason, just wanted to take a look at them and see how it coincides with my intuition as well as the meaning that was artistically created in the cards. All right, so here's my introductory card. Back to that. First thing that hits me is she has a slight resemblance to my daughter, which is kind of nice. It's a very gentle, sweet, loving feeling that I get, and also, almost like I would almost instantly trust this feeling that I get from the cards. And that's probably maybe because of the similarity to my daughter, but also just because, being the Page of Cups, that's a very gentle, loving, young kind of energy, which is very sweet. It just feels really nice. So that's a very nice introduction. The other thing that strikes me with this card is I love the lotus symbology. For me, the lotus has special meaning because it's sort of like, the beauty that comes out of the mud. And I do, on my list of things to do, I want to get a tattoo of a lotus. I sort of feel like, with my background in my life, that who I am today with sort of overcoming a lot of mud and finding the beauty in spite of all the trials, tribulations, challenges, etc. that life has thrown my way. And so the lotus, I like the fact that that has a special meaning to me and that shows up in this card. So I feel that what they're saying is that the relation, this particular energy of this deck, whether you want to call it my spirit guide coming through the decks or the whatever, wherever you want to say this stuff comes from, I just feel that its energy is one that is sort of going to opens the heart to inspiration, unlocks inner creativity, intuition, just gentle. It feels very like a gentle healing kind of energy. And again, like I said, reveals that beauty that lies underneath the darkness, so that you don't miss it. You don't get bogged down in that darkness. Let's see. And the creativity, inspiration, dreams, and novelty. It's earth of water. So I like that because I'm a water sign and I have no earth in my chart. So I find the phrasing of that is earth of water, that this is going to give me some grounding, okay? But still speak to my heart and my intuition and my watery nature, my creative nature, but it's going to help give me a more solid foundation, almost like guidance to kind of manifest those dreams that I want, that inspiration that I have to kind of like carry through and bring it through actually into the physical world, which is sometimes a challenge for me because I'm sort of like, squirrel, my attention goes squirrel, it's here and there. I get all excited about something and then I get over here and I have sometimes difficulty actually manifesting and carrying through. So I'm really liking this card. I'm probably going to sit with it for a bit, maybe meditate a few minutes a day on it for a little bit, since this is the card that the deck chose to introduce itself with. I feel that this will be one of the more important images for me to work with for a while. Okay, so the next question was, how will you work with me? And let's see, we have... Where do we go? Okay. Half the deck slid off when I set it down, so I was like, oh, there's more of the deck. All right, so put the deck back together. Okay, so we have the Chariot. Just bring it in the holder. 9 of Pentacles. That's one of my favorite cards in the Rider-Waite deck, is the 9 of Pentacles out of the Minors. And Strength. That's an unusual Strength card. I do like the Strength card in the Rider-Waite deck. This one's interesting. The imagery, like I said, is different. So, there we have it. In answer to my question of how will you work with me, we have Chariot and 9 of Pentacles and Strength. Right off the bat, I think the first thing that comes to mind is The image on the Nine of Pentacles is a woman very confident in herself and standing alone, but happy and content within that wholeness and boundaries. And I feel like that's where my attention went first, was that this is a deck that's going to be meant more for me, for personal work, and not necessarily using it to read for others, that this is going to be a personal journey, at least for now. That may change, but for now I just feel that this is going to be you know, just me and the deck for a while, which is good. The Chariot, I like this image of the Chariot. It's sort of going off to an ethereal cloud into the sky, but in a direction, in a focused direction, in a calm manner. It's not, you know, running wild. And the key words are ambition, momentum, drive, and it's the formulation of patterns. Keywords for the Nine of Pentacles: material gain, possession, boundaries, a solid foundation. I can certainly use earth and solid foundation in my life. And strength, of course, right relations, proportional responses, push and pull of everything. Okay, yeah, along the side of the cards, it has the Tree of Life correspondences and kind of a phrase that goes with that. So it's got a lot of Kabbalah in here if you are interested in that, which I'm sort of interested, but it's not a path I ever really dive deep into. So for me, the feeling of these is that how this deck is going to work with me is to focus my mind, keep me focused on the path ahead, and kind of help me keep that momentum going, because I do get distracted and give up sometimes and procrastinate. So any help I can get in that momentum and staying focused is fantastic. And also I feel, you know, that it's going to kind of help me learn the lessons along the way, see the patterns. And when you see patterns, that's when you can start to get a deeper understanding, and you can really learn the lessons of, you know, is this pattern, is this habit, is this path positive for me? Or am I manifesting things out of this pattern from the past that is not serving me any longer? So it really, I feel, will open up my mind a lot. And again, like I said, I think it's going to help me set some boundaries, set a solid foundation, kind of focus on me for a while and my learning for a while with this particular deck. And strength, that's one of my favorite major cards, is the strength card. I feel in this particular instance, it's sort of saying that it's sort of the balance between the heart and the mind, so that you have the guidance of both, like everything's on the same page, and kind of able to navigate life's challenges without getting overly emotional and reacting, but rather having those responses that come from wisdom and emotional clarity. So that's what I'm picking up from this card. And it would make sense, because it's saying right relations and proportional response, you know, so I think that makes sense. Okay, so that's those three cards. And I'm just making a stack over there. They're very slippery, they're very new, so whenever I set them down, they're kind of going because my couch is a little bit on a slant here. All right, so let's see. My next question was, what do I need to know about our relationship, right? So, interesting. I should tell you what they are, shouldn't I? Okay. Here we go. All right. Whoop. There they go. They're sliding again. Stay. All right. I'm going to have to find a different place to set these so they don't slide. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So, for this we have Nine of Cups. Fulfillment, material contentment, dreams come true. King of Wands, authenticity, spiritual dignity, honesty. Burns with the lust for life. That which burns with the lust for life. What I like is the keywords are there, but they don't really interfere with the design. They don't they're not bold. They're not having a border around it where it's just the words. They're sort of there, useful, there if you want them, but not overtaking the artwork. Okay, Ace of Swords, expectation, decisions, cutting back, the original thought. Okay, so as far as the relationship, I feel it just so suits what I feel I need right now. It's like I need to be able to fulfill and manifest. I'm in my 60s, and I'm still kind of looking to find that life purpose. I think I have found it, but I've never really been able to start fulfilling it in any major way. It sort of fits starts and stops, and at this point in my life, I'd really like to get on it and start manifesting things, start actually doing actions, not just, I've studied all kinds of stuff, I've done a lot of prep work for it, and now I think it's time to actually put some things into action. So I feel that this relationship with this particular deck will help that fulfillment and able to manifest it. And then as far as a zest for life, I really do feel that living authentically is something I strive to do, and it's just gotten better. As the years go by, there's something very freeing about, getting to a certain age, also being able to be retired, so I don't have, so I don't have a lot of the responsibilities and roles that I have to play anymore. So I really have hit a point in my life where I'm totally embracing that authenticity, even more so than I used to. And I'm all about honesty, and especially brutal honesty with myself for self-knowledge and inner self-work, and kind of working through shadow stuff. So that just really suits my style of working as well. And also the clear mind, the sword, like cutting through the BS. I've reached a point in my life, I don't want any more BS. I just want to cut through it. I just want to think clearly, know what I need to do, move forward, and boy, do I need to get rid of clutter, not just mentally and emotionally, but physically, lots of stuff. And I am downsizing. So hopefully this relationship with this cards really seems like it's focused on giving me that clarity that I need, and kind of giving me that boost to continue and even more so develop living authentically, and just grabbing full gusto onto my purpose for life. So that's very exciting. I just feel really good about these cards. I'm not sure, like if I were to say to myself, oh, let me go through the deck and pick out what cards I would like to have. I like it when it's like they feel so right. The cards feel so right. And I know, like, it's not like they're my favorite cards or cards that I would pick, or the wishful thinking cards, like everybody wants the Magician and everybody wants, the High Priestess. But these cards, like, really, I don't know, they just kind of somehow speak to me. So I'm liking that. Okay. All right. So the last question is, what do I need to know as moving forward on my spiritual path? Okay, the Judgment card, which is called the Final Judgment in this. A calling, decision, new life, awakening. The loss of forgetfulness. One of my first teachers used to drill into us, always drink from the cup of remembering. So that's an interesting correlation to a first teacher to the loss of forgetfulness, which would be remembering. King of Cups. Again, being a water sign, cups resonate with me. Creativity, subtle wisdom, art. A constant shifting of attention. Yeah, that's true. And the final card, Two of Cups. Oh, this is sort of the period at the end of the sentence. No, the exclamation point at the end of the sentence. Wow, that just hit me, because I'm asking, what do I need to know about my spiritual path in relation to working with these cards? And so we have trust, partnership, coming together to create. Wow. It just feels like it just brings it all together, because we've got, it's like starting, like hearing that calling, here, and you got the hearing this call, and then you got the chariot that's going to pull me forward and give me that momentum to follow that calling, that purpose in life, to reach my spiritual goals. And then it's creativity and wisdom flowing, but in a mature way, that it can actually, sort of in a mentorship kind of way, kind of utilizing my wisdom maybe to pass it on to others, or also the wisdom of the cards to teach me. So the feeling I'm getting is this cycle of, like you say, you learn from your students, and I've been wanting to teach and do more classes. And so I just see this cycle of learning and teaching and just growing, and just this whole expanding. It's just this beautiful feeling I'm feeling right now. Just kind of being able to step into flow of creativity and wisdom is how that card is hitting me right now. And then the exclamation point is trust the relationship. Trust the relationship of my guides, of the cards, how my guides, and whatever you want to call the energy, the highest wisdom that we follow, our highest self, that's going to come through the cards. Trust that. Just totally, trust it. And your partnership, and coming together to create. So this just feels like this whole purpose of it's going to be to, trust that partnership, work with it to manifest. This is so exciting. So I hope they gave you some ideas to do an introduction to a deck that you might want to work with. Ask some questions, introduce yourself, have the deck introduce itself to you. And at some point I will do a full review of this deck. It's absolutely gorgeous. Probably not going to be available anytime soon, because it was a Kickstarter program and it was for a limited time, and then there were a few weeks after the Kickstarter program where you could add on some decks if you wanted to buy extras. I did buy 2 extra decks to give away as gifts, and they should be arriving in the mail soon. And when they do, I'll be contacting the 2 special people that I will be sending them to. And so I'm floored with how this reading came out. I hope you enjoyed it, and take care. Bright blessings. Bye-bye.